This is episode 2 of Out of Nowhere, an off-the-grid travel guide about living life, adventuring, and jumping off of big cliffs. This week we are really taking you into the middle of nowhere, some spots in upstate New York, but also in Vermont. So we started off on Sunday in Chatham, New York, and we were looking for a spot called Blue Hole. It's really, really elusive. Good luck finding it. First, we drove an hour out to Chatham into private roads, dirt roads. We hiked for about maybe a mile and a half. If you're looking for a Blue Hole in Chatham, your best bet is to find Chatham Falls, and that'll lead you to the area generally where this swimming hole is found. We basically walked until we heard the creek and then tried to follow it upstream. We learned on our way back that we parked about a 5-minute walk from where this cliff jumping spot actually was. But on the way there, we hiked for probably 25-30 minutes. If you take the hike like we did, you're going to be going through people's backyards and private property, a lot of private property, which we found out after the fact. And if it was a nice day and the water level was high enough, it would really be fun. The problem is, it's so cold! It's so cold! Woo! Woo! It's not deep enough. That's the bottom. I'm standing on the bottom. Don't jump here right now. It's not safe. Okay, I'm going back. Woo! Woo! Baby! That's it! And this is a really important thing to point out, especially at Blue Hole in Chatham. Always test the water before you go in. If we hadn't had a suspicion that it was too shallow, we would have had some broken ankles, and that's not a joke. It's really dangerous to jump into something like this. So that is something to watch out for. Which way do we go? I don't know. Then later in the week, we hopped in the car for an almost 2-hour ride to somewhere around Salisbury, Vermont, to check out the Falls of Lana. This is one of those spots where you have to stop and take pictures. It's absolutely incredible. It's crazy. It's so cool. Falls of Lana. We made it. All right. So for this hike, you're going to want to park along the side of the road where there's a trailhead. You don't want to go into Bradbury State Park because then you have to pay for parking, and it's actually really not that close to where the falls are. You basically have to follow this pipeline, or there's also like telephone wires. It's really quick elevation, so be ready for that. We saw where the falls were as we were hiking up, and so we knew that we just had to keep going as high as we could to get to those falls. And once we were there, it's like a little cove at the top of this mountain. It's really surreal to be there. Again, we had to check the water depth, and we found that it was only, by our estimation, about 8 feet. If you're jumping anything like 20 feet, you're gonna want at least 15 feet of water. So again, we didn't really get to jump. We just kind of swam around here, but no regrets. It was an awesome hike. So that's our week. Some unintentional illegal trespassing, lots of elevation, and a whole lot of cold water. Don't go to Chatham, but do go to the Falls of Lana in Vermont. Beautiful place. As a reminder, there's going to be links in the description to the locations of these spots, and then also to this week's playlist with the songs from this episode and inspired by this episode, so you can have something to listen to on the car ride there. And I'll see you next week.
Every time I'm in the street, I hear yeah, 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 yeah.
We're in the grocery store, dude. We're getting some sandwiches, dude.